Hi, and welcome to Bob Akmens Sports, America's #1 top sports handicapper since 1978. This is the second of 3 parts of our hockey betting tips video. In this second part, I'll tell you about hockey overtimes and shootouts. I'll also tell you about the first ever handicapping contest for sports services for hockey. And I'll tell you about a feat of superhuman proportions, winning 5 straight hockey handicapping contests. Again, I'll leave these headphones where they are instead of putting them on so I don't look like Jenny at Time Life Books taking your phone order. If you haven't watched part 1 of this video, please do so after viewing this part. In it, I offer my views as to why hockey is an absolutely great betting sport. We also compare the hockey goalie to the role of starting pitchers decades ago, and we'll explore the range of hockey betting lines. Now, hockey was actually a harder sport to beat with any consistency just a few short years ago. And the major thing that changed was that the National Hockey League decided to eliminate ties and force every game to now have a winning side, either in overtime or something I, as a handicapper and as a bettor, detest: the infernal shootout that happens after a tied overtime. These BS shootouts are happening with alarming frequency. This past regular season in the National Hockey League, 58% of overtime games went to this stupid, idiotic shootout. Every hockey bettor should despise going to a shootout because at that point, taking point-blank shots, one player after another, against the other goalie is a genuine crapshoot, and anyone can and does get lucky in these shootouts. I just hate them. The NHL implemented this new rule along with several other rules designed to jack up scoring because they wanted to jazz up the game, and in harmony with the seemingly continual and never-ending dumbing down of American culture and society, the NHL lords insisted that every fan needed this instant gratification of a guaranteed winner. No ties here, sir. No boring, indecisive affairs on our ice. We won't have it. Before this monumental change of a 100-year-old hockey tradition, many bettors used to get what was called the puck line. And that was really a tough nut to crack because what is now, say, a -160 favorite used to be a -1.5 goal favorite, meaning they had to win by 2 goals for you to win your bet on them. But that also meant that the underdog was only a +1 goal dog. Bookies loved this miserable line, which still exists, but is now modified to -1.5 goals on the favorite and +1.5 goals on the dog. Think about that line for a moment. If the game ended in a 1-goal win for the favorite, all bettors on the favorite lost their -1.5 goal bet. And at the same time, all bettors on the +1 goal dog pushed. The bookie had to pay no one. Nothing like existed in sports, and collected from the chalk players. What a scam. I knew bookies who would rub their hands in glee and ring the cash register every time they booked one of those bummer bets. Now, back in 1994, the American Association of Documented Sports Services, the AADSS, the nation's very first sports monitor, ran the first contest for hockey for sports services. They used a consensus line, thankfully money line, from the 5 largest sports books in Las Vegas that offered hockey betting. Each service started with a $10,000 bankroll. When that contest ended and the results were posted at the old and now gone Stardust, I had over $140,000 in bankroll. Not only had I won the first ever hockey contest for sports services, I had more than 14-tupled, since I have no idea what the correct word for that would be, my original stake. It was the highest bankroll ever attained in any AADSS contest in the 15 years they've been around at that time. Quite an achievement. But you might say what so many people say all the time. I've heard it for 30 years. Yeah, that's all ancient history. What have you done lately? Kind of reminds me of the sports forums, where if you win yesterday, you're the Lord, and you're great, and you're wonderful. And if you lose 2 days in a row, you have leprosy. How about this? Recently, we were informed by the Sports Eye that we had won our 5th straight hockey handicapping contest in a row. You heard right. #1 in 5 straight regular and postseason hockey contests in a row at either the Sports Monitor or the Sports Eye. To compete against anywhere from dozens to hundreds of other services. To even lead one of those contests for a single week, which so many services never ever even attain, against all that competition. Then to win a half-year-long contest. And then to win 5 of those contests in a row. How much more consistent can you possibly be? Now, is that a better criterion for joining a service than the guy who has a hot month and everyone on every sports forum is chasing his performance by living and dying bankroll-wise with each of his daily plays? Infinitely better. No one on earth has ever done that. No one. I'm positive. Except Bob Akmens Sports. You can live to be 100 and you'll never see someone win 5 straight hockey contests in a row. Now, what does all this mean to you as a bettor? It means that Bob Akmens Sports has the absolutely positively best documented record there is in hockey. Long term, short term, any term. It means we can make you money betting hockey. So I hope you'll come on board and join myself and my many successful hockey clients in winning lots of profits for many years to come in the National Hockey League. Now, this concludes the second part of our hockey betting tips video. If you haven't watched the first part, please do so. There's some valuable insight there. And please look over our site. I'm sure you'll find something you'll like. I'd like to thank you again for visiting. And for the time being, Bob Akmens out, and I hope you'll come back. Thanks again for coming.